All right, so moving on to what I would consider the most important part of all of these things is what I refer to as organic strumming, which is really, instead of thinking that a particular song needs a particular kind of strumming pattern, you can borrow from any of these experiences that you're having. But basically what you learn how to do is you learn how to play, you move in and out, and you create strums that feel good to you, that fit the situation that you're in, simply by moving in and out. And again, maybe subconsciously you're playing some of these strumming patterns and things like that, but you're really not focusing on it. Okay, and what I mean by that is this. What you're going to do here is you're just going to start playing all your down ups. It's going to sound crazy. You're just going to go like this. That's all you're going to do, and you're going to do that with me, and it's going to be loud and noisy. It's going to be wonderful. Let's do it together. Again, I'm playing G. If you want to play something else or just scratch, that's okay. 1 and 2 and ready, go. Good. Now, what we're going to do is somewhere in there, I'm going to say away. And what I want you to do is I want you to move away from the strings, but I want you to keep moving your arm, keep strumming, just don't hit the strings. Okay? Away. Then I'm going to say back, and you're going to come back in and start making all that crazy noise again. Okay? You don't have to come back in when I do, and you don't have to move away exactly on the same beat I do. You're just going to move away and keep the beat going, and then you're going to come back in. So here we go. 1, 2, ready, go. All right, here we go. Away. Now keep it going. Keep that beat going. Don't stop. Don't lose the beat. Feel it in your body. Feel it in your head. Feel it in the tapping of your foot, whatever. Come back in. Away. Come back in. Away. Come back in. Away. Come back in. Now, what you're going to start learning how to do by practicing that, and you can do that with a metronome if you like, is that you can move away for as long as you want and come back in anytime you want. And what you start doing is you just start thinking about how things sound less than, again, 1 E and a 2 E and that sort of thing. Let me show you. I'm going to just play a little bit here. Now you're noticing that sometimes I'm hitting a down, sometimes I'm hitting an up, and I'm moving away. I don't have to do a bunch of down ups and then move away and then come back and do a bunch of down ups. I can hit some downs and an occasional up, and that's where maybe the pattern is, right? I don't think about it as a pattern, but I've been playing so long, it's hard to tell what is just organic now, right? Where I want you to think about that a little bit. So if you had like a... See, it's a little different as I keep playing, and I was explaining this to you earlier. A lot of times when people play, they're not really thinking about hitting the exact same strumming pattern for 3 straight minutes for every song. They've got a general idea of something, but they're moving out and coming back in, okay? And then with their dynamics, they're building and they're making things smaller, right? So we can think about this. We can hit things harder and softer, right? We can play different sectors, or right? Different quadrants of the strings to get a different kind of sound. We can do that too. We can also hit and miss in various parts to create space. And sometimes we can create a lot of space by missing a lot of things, which if you think about it is more like, whole notes and half notes and things. But we're not thinking about it that way. We're just playing and missing whenever we feel like we want some space. See, then I can hit it hard and all of a sudden it sounds more dynamic. And I'm hitting and missing in different places. Now, I'd love to tell you that everything that I'm playing, I know exactly what I'm doing. I don't. I'm just moving my arm and I'm moving in and out. But I've been doing this a long time and you need to start working on this as well. But it's what I refer to as organic strumming. Okay? Organic strumming. I'm starting with ideas, like a particular pattern or whatever it might be, but then I'm learning how to move away and enjoy the space that I'm creating. Okay? Now, one thing that, like when people first start learning how to strum and all that thing, all that kind of stuff, I want to remind you that what people do wrong most of the time is they strum too much and they strum too loud all the time. Those are two things that people do wrong when they first start learning how to do this stuff, is they feel like they got to fill every little space there is with a strum. And the second thing that they do is they strum too loud all the time. And if you think about it, if you do those two things together, it just sounds like you're yelling at somebody all the time when you're strumming your guitar. And again, sometimes that might be good, but if you do it every time you play, it just gets to be too much. Where maybe you want... See, I can build it up and then I can bring it back down. I call that the ocean effect. Now, the ocean effect is where I'm thinking about taking the song and I'm thinking about building it up and bringing it back down as I play. The one thing that's awesome about the ocean, well, a few things. It's awesome to look at. It's also awesome to listen to. And one of the reasons is because it's not the same every time. It's unpredictable, right? The waves of an ocean are not predictable. It's not the same thing every single time, every single day, every single minute, right? It doesn't work that way. And the sounds change. Sometimes it's loud, sometimes it's quiet. You know, it's never ending and it's always changing. In some situations, we want a strumming pattern that is very consistent because that's what the song is asking for. Sometimes what we're trying to do is we're trying to feed into the emotion of a listener. And that really is what music is. By thinking about this as an ocean, right? We're trying to draw something out by hitting more and then hitting less, right? Hitting louder and hitting softer and keeping it kind of unpredictable. Now, again, this is an organic thing and it takes time to learn how to do this. You know, you're not just going to follow these steps and all of a sudden you're doing it perfectly. Probably, at least if you're like me, it takes time. But it's nice to be aware of these things. And please always remember, as I teach things to you, it's not about how quickly can you do it. It's about how well can you do it. How does it feel and how does it sound? And always think about those two things. It's not how fast can you get through this course so you can start some other course. It's can you change your life? Can you change your playing for the better by implementing some of these ideas that you may not have thought about before?